Hello, Commanders, and welcome to Ranked Play with Matthremar. We are now on episode 22. And we have a very fun build for you. This is something that I learned a lot on today. We have a professional Righteous Defender coach in Christian0029. That is what we're going to be working with today. First, however, if you like what you see in this video, please do like, subscribe, and if you want notifications when I drop new videos, hit that notification bell. Also, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave those below. And if you have a build that you'd like for me to try, I'd be happy to check it out. And let's show you what we're working with. This is Christian0029's build. He was very kind to consult with me today to show me how this works. He has much higher unit levels than I do. He's been working on this army structure for quite some time. But I just wanted to show you what he recommended and what he's working with. So he has all 8 Righteous Defenders on the battlefield, some Hammer Throwers, a Paladin, a Drummer, and a Blessed Bombot. Now, the Unshackle Stone and the Protection 1 and Attack 1 are going to be the Power Stones, or Damage 1, I guess is what it's called. But those are the Power Stones that he was working with. And I started off earlier today with all level 8 Righteous Defenders, and then I spent 141,500 gold in order to do this. So now I have 2 11s and the rest are 10s. I don't have as many Power Stones equipped, but I was able to get, I think, 4 Unshackles on those, and then the other 2 Unshackles I put on the level 10 Paladin and the level 10 Drummer. Then I upgraded my Hammer Throwers to level 12, and I didn't include that in the gold that I spent today, but that was another 30 grand. And I've got a bunch of damage and aim on that, and then Blessed Bombot doesn't have anything. And the Arcane Archer has damage 1 and aim 1. So that's what we're working with for how I set my army up, and I basically replicated how he had it set up. But the whole reason that we're doing this is because of this. This was from my encounter with him earlier this week. He's got Bulwark of the Dragon Slayer, and he's got the Unshackle. So you'll notice that he's not being slowed down at all. He's just mowing over everything. And I was like, wow, that is impressive. I want to do that. And thus I spent 150 grand trying to replicate what he did. And I spent about half an hour picking his brain on how to do it. So anyway, that is what we are looking at. So let's go ahead and close that. Now we've shown you the build, we've shown you how much I spent. Let's show you how it played out. So here we go. This is my experience. We're up against Renegade, and we fluctuate somewhere between just under 100. So we do break into the top 100 at times, and sometimes we get down to 200. So it's kind of a mixed bag for where it floats around. But you'll notice that sailing right through, clearing out that Frenzy pack down at the bottom right. But here we try to take on that Devourer, but Frenzy is hit, and he's just knocking everything back. Now I'm thinking, oh, the Arcane Archer might be able to pull this off, but it's only level 10, and it just does not have the oomph that it needs to take down that Devourer. So anything other than a Devourer, and I might have been fine. Okay, let's see. This is Killilil. Now we've got a Swarm, and you'll notice that with the way that this is designed, I actually moved the Blessed Bombot down a little bit because it kept getting either knocked out, or as my Righteous Defenders would wrap around stuff, it would just run to the end of the battlefield. But depending on where you place it, I kind of place it further down later on, it'll end up getting stuck right in the big middle of your army, just like you'll see the hammer throwers and the drummer are right there in the middle. And it's very solid for keeping them protected for as long as possible. But here we end up running into another Devourer, and I get shredded. Boop. So I have a lot of bad encounters with Devourers as we go through all this. And I, had quite a few losses. I think I didn't ever really get much above 50% ever with this build, but again, I do not have the unit levels that Christian does. So had a bit of a rough time with it. Oh, this one, the Death Knight, is the key element here. My crown doesn't heal, the Paladin didn't heal, and it died very quickly. And the Death Knight is what makes a huge difference for this one. So good job, Kevin Corp, for shredding me there. I promise I do win eventually. So we're just running through some of the early ones that I did. Hey, clanmate, Kidney Thief, the originator, if I recall correctly, of the Titan build. At least that's the earliest record that I have for its existence. I ran the Titan build for quite some time. Most of my early ranked play videos were very similar to what he did. I actually wasn't aware of what he was doing. I kind of came up with it on my own, but he came up with it first. So props to you, man. But yeah, he just mows right over me. So yeah, I kind of started at a high level because of my other build, the Phoenix build that I did the other day. So I ended up ranking down quite a bit, fighting a lot of these people along the way. And here is Pitagos. So we've got another squad with a toe, and I think he's under 10 units, so he's probably already got that toe going. But wrap around and give him a nice little hug there with my Righteous Defenders, and just don't quite have the damage to carry through. I don't know if he's even... yeah, he has a... No, he doesn't have a Paladin in there at all, so I'm not even making an impact. Just taking forever to try and get anywhere. And it doesn't quite get there. So his Eternal Champion starts shredding through. And then the Arcane Archer doesn't have the damage output to take down the Eternal Champion. He's also got Pendant, which slows me down a bit. So yeah, a bit of a rough start there. Oh, hold on, let's back up, make sure we're on the right one. Okay, yes, so here we go. Now we're turning the tables a little bit. You'll notice that I'm down at rank 182 now, instead of those early battles that were in the kind of 100 range. Now the tree, a little concerned about, because that's stopping a whole bunch of my RDs, but you have so many of them that the tree can't hold enough to make the difference. And as it kills those RDs, the ones that are up front get the buffs, and they keep moving on. I think it's something like 12% buff. We'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, there's enough of them there that they're able to push through and get all the way in, and poof. So finally starting to have some success. Then we've got another corner build that we're up against here. Now, I think it's both attack speed and attack potency, and it might even be health. We'll have to go and take a look at the RD tooltip and see what exactly is going on. So Soul Pylon has a lot of targets to hit, and since I don't have any block power stones in this era yet, the Arcane Archer is very vulnerable, but there's so many units out there that it takes a while for them to get it. Now, again, have that same problem with the tree, but there's enough... Oh, and it's gone. There we go. So cruising right along and clear it out. Alright, let's see. Oh, this one was good. Up against a squad. Now, you remember that those last couple of squads I did not have a very good time with. But this one, for whatever reason, I managed to just power through. It takes a little while to get cranking, and you'll notice with RDs, all these battles start so slow. And that's kind of the thing that made them unappealing for me at first, just because, gosh, they're just so slow and clunky, and they seemed like they died very easily, but I guess they're kind of supposed to. Like, you get the buff from them dying. But there you go. Now you look at them just ripping shreds off of the squad there. And it just takes a while. Once you lose enough units, they really start cranking. Okay, here is Pi. We got kind of a corner build of sorts with yeah. Okay, we're moving right in. You'll notice that the plague bearers are not making any dent at all. The very few units that do get plagued, they get healed by the crown, and off they go. Now watch this. The Blessed Bombot pops, and it'll get a Righteous Defender right there to go get that Arcane Archer. That was kind of fun. But yeah, the plague would have made a really big difference there, but that Bulwark makes a huge difference. I guess the Paladin is there too, so it's going to be very difficult for the plague to spread very far. But you'll see in a lot of these that that Bulwark really pays off. Now, we've got the Phoenix, and the design here is for you to get pulled up, and then you start running across the briars, and by the time, or the entangling roots, and then by the time you run across, you have to run back to fight the Phoenix again. But look at that. The 4 units that I had the Unshackle on, they just cruise right through. And the other 4, they take a day and a half. But that split them up sufficiently to where I could take that Phoenix down again and have enough units moving towards that back corner to clean it up. So, I don't know, maybe it's worth not having Unshackle on a couple of them. Okay, this one, I don't know how to pronounce the name, but the RDs, sometimes they just keep going and going and going, and they just don't stop. I'm not sure. I think this guy's kind of depending on the Phoenix to crank a lot of damage, but with that Bulwark, it's just not connecting on anything. The Stormcaller is doing damage, but it's just there's so many units that it doesn't amount to anything, and boom, there it is. All right, let's see. Another clanmate battle. Okay, here is heavy style, and look at that. 12s, 13s, 14s. Holy crap, dude. So yeah, I don't know if this is my first encounter with heavy, because I've done a lot of spinning with the auto spin tokens. So I'm sure my army's probably run into them before, but this is the first time I've actually watched it. And wow, man, that is savage. Just shredded me. Props, Heavy. Way to go, man. All right, we've got RD Showdown. So he's got all 8 RD units, and he's got a Soul Pylon, a Mind Corruptor. Now you'll notice the Mind Corruptor is having a really rough time getting anywhere. You'll see a couple of units turn here and there, but it just does not amount to much. But this guy has very solid builds, lots of RDs, and then here comes in his watch this, boom. Okay, as soon as that Blessed Bombot hit, he's got a lot more units. Mine went off early, so I didn't get as many units resurrected, so he was able to pull it off because the Blessed Bombot was delayed towards the end. All right, let's see. 2/2 Chaos Swarm. All right, so lots of healthy unit levels there. Lots of 11s, 12s. And this one, I was actually very optimistic about. I'm like, okay, I'm holding. This is going to be all right. And then the Paladin drops, so that's problematic. Still have the Drummer, so my units aren't going down too fast. And then you start to see, once enough of those RDs die, the rest of them really start to crank. And then I think, hey, this is turning around. And then the Devourer pops. And this is where I have the most trouble, is with these Devourers, because they usually pop around the time that Frenzy hits. and they're able to just beat the crap out of everything. And I thought I had it, and I'm like, yay! And then, oh no, the Skull of the Necrolord spawned those 2 skeletons and took me out. So that one was close. I almost had it. All right, now this one, you'll notice the mine shrooms that my RDs rarely get turned by them. There's a couple that'll pop, but for the most part, they just kind of bounce right through, and maybe a third of them actually connect. Because I think I've got a 75% resistance rate, so the RNG ended up being about a third of them actually got my RDs. But yeah, it's enough with that bulwark to just mow right through that and get to the tree, and when enough of them die, they start cranking damage like crazy, and boom, able to push the rest of the way. So it's not terribly flashy. Like, there's not a whole lot of pyrotechnics or fireworks to this. It's just if you've got enough of them to push through and they're able to hold on long enough, they start cranking after a while, and you're all set. A lot of these happened before I switched out the Blessed Bombot, and it just didn't amount to much because it was too high up, and it kept blowing up before I wanted it to. So later on when I moved it down, it made a big difference. Okay, so bears. This is the guy that has the other corner build with the soul pylons on the bottom that shreds my Titan build all the time. But here it's looking kind of ugly, and then I think we have the Arcane Archer earning her paycheck for once, and boom, there it goes, down goes the tree, and game over. So I think that was wise. Oh, never mind. Ha! Why did I put that as a win? I guess I died. Well, how about that? Alright, Del Castle. Yeah, we got another squad and a toad. So let's see how we fare against the toad. We got Paladin and a drummer on his side, so his units are going to be able to have a lot of staying power. And it's looking like I'm not making much progress, but the more of my dudes that die, the more I start to crank. So the toad is eating units like crazy. And looks like I've got my pendant going, so it froze already. Now we're into frenzy, and look at this. Boom! Everything just starts to melt, and the toad cannot eat everything fast enough. It's just not going to happen. So that was nice. Got a win in there. Seems like I've had a lot of losses up till here. Oh, this one is good. Okay, so we've got a Chaos Swarm with a Death Knight, which is usually problematic from most of the battles that I've been in. And boom, there goes the Blessed Bombot, because it was still too high. And the Risen Warriors push the Hammer Throwers into the Paladin aura, which helps them to survive a lot longer. And now you'll notice in a lot of these, it looks hopeless, like I'm getting surrounded and I'm going to get shredded. But you have that turning point, that critical mass. Once enough of those RDs die, the rest of them just get real pissed. And they just start shredding everything like crazy. And then, this is where I usually run into the trouble with the Devourer, but for whatever reason, I'm able to get him down. I guess I had enough of the Hammer Throwers left to finish the job. Alright, ooh, this one. Look at the level of these Eternal Champions. 11 and 12. So you think, oh, okay, that probably is game over right there, because he's got the Paladin, and looks like, he's got a drummer in there too. So those ECs are going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I don't know what the deal is. I think he's probably got more units than the toe threshold allows, which enables me to get that one EC down. And then his toe heal's going to pop here in a second if it hasn't already. Yeah, toe heal pops too late because he's only got level 2 on that. So his units didn't start with the toe buff, so they don't have that extra health and attack power. And if you're able to get the ECs down first, then it kind of defeats the purpose of having that toe. So I was really shocked that I pulled that one out. But hey, we'll take the wins where we get them. Okay, here we've got a very common corner setup where we've got the tree and the entangling roots and then the ranged units. That seems to be a lot going on. A lot of times you'll see the mine shrooms incorporated into this, but there's a lot of these corner builds. Now the tree is looking very problematic, but I've got just enough RDs to where it can't catch them all, and boom. The more RDs that get killed, the more the ones that are next to the tree are going to hurt. And boom, there it goes. Got the catapult, and now the bulwark is going to pay off right here, because look, normally they'd be dead. The fire would shred them, but the fire hardly connected at all because of that bulwark. All right, and the Unshackled. Another thing to note, let's just skim ahead back in that one again to this part right here. You'll notice that they sail right through those entangling roots, the ones that can move. They just blast right through it, as though they're not even there. I know they're kind of just skimming through the top, and that one goes through the bottom, but that was just so handy, and the Unshackle finally pays off. All right, King Miner. So this one, again, the problem that I run into with these Chaos Swarms is trying to get to the Devourer before Frenzy pops, because if the Frenzy pops and I've got no ranged units left, which in all these Chaos Swarms, you'll notice that the Risen Warriors will clear out my Arcane Archer. It's just that there's not much I can really do. I mean, I could try to change the setup, but we were going with what Christian recommended, and it worked very well despite my unit levels. So you can see why he's in the top 100. I think he's actually top 50 most of the time. But yeah, thank you to Christian0029. I think he's in Eternal Souls. Thank you for sharing your builds. I was just really inspired by it earlier this week, because it just shredded me. And I had very much success with that Phoenix build until I ran into him. So yeah, let's see. Millen. I think that's how you pronounce it. The 3 is supposed to be an E. Let's see. Okay, so we've got a Mind Corruptor and the Entangling Roots. So the Mind Corruptor is going to run into the Bulwark, and the Entangling Roots are going to be bypassed by half of my Righteous Defenders, my Paladin, and my Drummer. So it's not going to stop them. Of course, we're kind of just slowly fighting through it anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But that Mind Corruptor is virtually useless. It just can't make any headway. And sure, I mean, once you get to Frenzy, it might have a little better success, but still, like, very few units turning. You see one turning every so often, but it's not enough to slow them down, and there it goes. They just mow right through. So that Bulwark is just fantastic when you're up against any kind of condition. All right, Rita. Okay, this is very similar to the build that Crim is running. I think a lot of people have been using Crim's setup. I'm pretty sure he's the one that... I mean, he did the one with the 3 walls in the front, but I think he's also the one that did the shrooms. And a lot of people have been replicating that. I could be wrong. You can never really be totally sure who came up with everything, but I'm pretty sure Crim was the one who designed this. But yeah, enough of the RDs there. And Pendant of Everlasting Winter freezes the tree, and that moves a lot of RDs forward. And boom, there it goes. There's enough units to catch those Soul Pylon orbs to where you don't have to worry about things like a Titan build where they get shredded so easily, having so few units. Okay, Scar, Righteous Defender versus Righteous Defender. So here, it's just a matter of grinding through. I think something to notice about this dude is that he only had 7. Oh, yeah. I was trying to get in touch with Evan because he wanted to be in one of my videos. And I was like, hey, I'll be your Huckleberry. You'll have to come down to my level, though, because he's usually much further ahead than I am. So we were trying to work that out. But anyway, I think Scar only had 7 RD units. And I think that's what made the difference here. Boom. And yeah, my Blessed Bombot hits in the end. So you'll notice that it's kind of, if you luck out and your Blessed Bombot can hold off until you got a lot of Righteous Defenders down, then when it pops, you're golden. So that one worked very well. All right, Skarsgård. So, okay, notice Mind Corruptor is going to have a heck of a hard time getting anything done. Here comes my Blessed Bombot, a little early, but I don't think that's going to hurt me too much. And yeah, I don't see hardly any purple in there. And when the purple does pop, my crown will heal it on a very regular basis. So yeah, whenever you're up against these snow globes, and you're seeing fewer and fewer of these now, thank goodness, but still a very viable build. I mean, obviously he's in the top 100, so it's still working well for him. But when you run up against a bulwark, you just can't turn anything fast enough. All right, and this will be our last one. Yortum. Okay, another Mind Corruptor Snow Globe. And yeah, it just can't turn enough fast enough. And it's just a matter of time. Enough of those RDs fall. Oh, yeah, Blessed Bombot just keeps running right past. And this is where I was talking about how it'll just kind of work its way up and then run past everything. And that's, I don't think all these are in chronological order. But later on in the actual chronological order of when I was spinning, I did move that Blessed Bombot further down, and that worked a lot better for me. But yeah, the Mind Corruptor's the focal point of that whole build, and the Bulwark makes it almost totally negated. So anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate you supporting my channel. Please do like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, do leave them below. And we will have some more content for you soon.